Welcome to Module 9. In this module, learners move from individual professional judgment into organizational discipline. Governance, documentation, and change control make responsible decisions repeatable and recoverable. By the end of this module, learners can define governance, assign ownership, establish authoritative documentation, and manage BAS changes through a scalable, risk-based life cycle. Governance is the system by which decisions are made, authority is assigned, risk is accepted, standards are enforced, and performance is reviewed. It prevents informal habits from becoming hidden operational risk. A mature BAS program can answer questions about ownership, authorization, risk, vendors, documentation, exceptions, and lessons learned. If the answers vary from person to person, governance is not yet strong. This operating model shows governance as a flow. Strategy drives standards and architecture. Standards guide change and project controls. The operating team maintains the system. Evidence, metrics, and learning feed improvement back into the program. A responsibility model separates who does the work, who owns the result, who provides input, and who needs to know. This is critical when facilities, IT, cybersecurity, engineering, operations, and vendors all touch the BAS. The documentation hierarchy separates policies, standards, procedures, work instructions, engineering records, operational records, and references. This keeps required controls distinct from helpful background information. Every critical information type should have a defined authoritative source. Personal folders, email attachments, and technician laptops cannot be the only source of critical information. A baseline is an approved reference state. It may include versions, firmware, addressing, programs, graphics, alarms, trends, users, certificates, integrations, backups, drawings, and sequences. Without it, recovery becomes uncertain. Change control begins with a request, then impact assessment, approval, preparation, implementation, validation, documentation, and closeout. Low-risk changes can use a simplified workflow. High-risk changes need deeper review. Change control should scale with risk. Low-risk changes may be simplified, but high-risk sequence, network, server, or critical control changes require formal impact review, backup, rollback, stakeholder communication, testing, and closeout. Emergency work may need to proceed before the normal approval cycle, but emergency does not mean undocumented. It requires minimum necessary scope, real-time communication, recorded actions, immediate validation, retrospective review, and permanent corrective action. An exception is an approved departure from a standard. Technical debt is the future cost created by short-term decisions. Emergency restoration and phase projects may require temporary conditions. The problem is invisible and unowned debt. A mature program uses individual accounts, least privilege, formal approval, time-limited vendor access, secure storage, logging, and periodic review. Vendors provide expertise, but the owner retains program authority and accountability. The field experience shows why governance matters. Multiple database copies created uncertainty. A recovery event restored an older copy and reintroduced old configuration. The correction was a formal baseline, controlled repository, changelog, backup, restore test, and closeout sign-off. Common mistakes include undefined responsibility, unenforced standards, unverified drawings, personal storage of final databases, exclusive vendor control, closing changes before documentation updates, overly complex processes, and unowned exceptions. The learner assignment is to create a 3-tier change model for low, medium, and high-risk BAS changes. The model must include approval, testing, backup, documentation, notification, emergency path, and retrospective review. The correct answer is C. Project closeout requires controlled database transfer, baseline update, documentation, and restore evidence. A system that works today but cannot be recovered tomorrow is not fully governed. This module covered governance, responsibility models, documentation hierarchy, authoritative sources, configuration baseline, change control lifecycle, emergency change exceptions, technical debt, credential governance, vendor governance, and the unknown final database scenario. Next is leadership, teams, and knowledge transfer.